A lot of people are always very surprised when they realize how many rights they lose when they enter into the psych ward. For instance, the staff there, under permissible circumstances, are able to inject you with medication. Now, I'll tell you how this happens, and then I'll tell you how you can be in the best position to where it can't happen. We'll start with the way in which it actually is permissible. Like, let's say you're being violent, you're a threat to yourself or others, you've kind of been warned, you've been given boundaries, and you keep crossing them. Then they could call up the doctor and get a medication order for you to be injected with some meds to calm you down. And depending on the severity of the actions or the threat, it depends on maybe the dosage of medicine and what they use. Permissible. Then you have permissible circumstances where if you have a staff that is petty or is antagonizing a patient, or you just have a patient that is dealing with a very rough time and might deal better with just talking it out or doing some type of coping activity. You know, some staff take that and are either afraid that the unit is gonna go up if they don't take action, and instead of meeting that person's individual needs, they'll be selfish and say, well, and use it as a threat. If you don't calm down, we're gonna have to get some medication. And that's very gaslighting to somebody that comes to a facility to get help, and you meet their help with, well, you can't act like that. And time again, I've seen it happen to where a patient in that situation ends up getting medicated because, you know, they end up not being in a position to handle that, and they might take it to the next level, and now they're somewhere they don't want to be. The best way you can avoid being that person, outside of like just controlling yourself, which is already hard enough to ask somebody that life is out of control, is to have people around you and to know your rights. Definitely make sure you document everything, and make sure you have people that support you outside of the hospital. And that might be hard enough for people that don't have nobody. So I'll tell you what you can do as well. But if you have people outside of the hospital that love you and support you, make sure they know what's going on. Make sure you're calling them to let them know if there's any trouble that you see with staff, or if you perceive anything. Keep that record and let them keep record too, so that if anything happens against your will in a way that you don't like, you're able to fight it, and you can use a recipient's rights advisor to do it. I've seen it happen. It does work. It's not bullshit. Now, if you don't have anybody, unfortunately, that does put you in a circumstance where you're the most vulnerable, because tons of people are dropped off at the psych ward and just go through that cycle of just being there because it's better than being out on the streets. They don't have nobody, and they just become a zombie of themselves. Usually they want the medication. They don't want to feel life. They want to be numb. But if you're trying to get yourself together and get yourself on your feet so you can be functionable in life, tell staff, hey, I'm going to my room. I'm just not feeling so good right now. I can contract for safety. There's nothing about to happen. I just need to vent and be in this space by myself. And file a complaint to recipients' rights if they violate your space.